Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jim. Man, I thought you were froze up there for a minute. That's why
I'm just like stealth mode, ninja mode. Did you do anything last night?
No, I didn't do nothing. Watch TV for a bit.
Do anything either. You got my last message. I had about 5 shots of American honey because my old man hip was flaring up and I had trouble talking.
Yeah, Mike was making fun of you.
Mike was making fun of me hardcore, and my wife was making fun of Mike, make fun of me. So it was a vicious circle of me getting beat down because everybody knows when I have a little to drink, I just blabber. Welcome to Bigfoot Force Giants, man.
A lot, Jim.
I'm glad. I don't need any alcohol to blabber.
You don't need it.
So, welcome to Bigfoot Force Giants podcast, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, stopping in. Tonight we got a really good show. We got some friends coming on, BF Bud and Angie. I think I'm pretty sure the way we've met them and came friends with them was probably just the fan base of Bigfoot Odyssey, I would say. And then got to meet them face to face a few times, and they travel all over the place. My goodness, it seems like they're everywhere. All kinds of conventions. We've seen them here in Florida. We've seen them somewhere else.
We've seen them in Florida. We've seen them in Lakeland. We saw them twice in Ocala.
Yeah.
They don't miss too much.
No, and they're, from what I gather, from Ohio. And I was thinking that they were from West Virginia or Virginia for some reason. Don't ask me why. But I'm old. I'm 52 and got a terrible, terrible memory. I'm excited about tonight's very first show of the very first year. Let's not jabber too much. Let's go ahead and bring them guys on. Everybody, welcome BF Bud and Angie. Guys, how you doing?
Hey, everybody. We're good. How are you?
Good. Let's go ahead and get it started. What got you guys into this? Yeah, it's always the guy's fault. It's always the guy's fault. It's always the guy's fault.
Suppose I grew up around them, and I always told myself when I retire, I'm going to look for them. So, short and simple.
Short and simple.
Yeah.
Did you ever? What was the first thing that made you aware of them? Was it Patterson Gimlin, or was it just talk of the locals that got you interested? Or
yeah, my grandparents especially. And then once the Patterson Gimlin, I used to watch it In Search Of when I was a little kid. I mean, I loved all the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And one night it was on TV, and it went to commercial. But you know how they always show segments, what's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, they showed the Patty running across that creek, and I hollered at my grandma, and I said, Grandma, come here. I said, is this what you're saying back here in the holler? And she came out washing, drying dishes, and was like, yeah, that's it. And, like, no big deal. And right back in the kitchen she went. And I'm like, yeah, that's them. I was like, wow, because supposedly she grew up, I mean, everybody, she was from down at the border of West Virginia and Kentucky Virginia area, right in there around Pikeville. And she, it was just no big deal. It was an everyday occurrence, according to her when she was a kid. So
they were just there, and everybody knew it, and everybody saw them. Yeah, ain't no thing.
Yeah.
You guys got the Ohio, what is it? The Department of Natural Resources. Did an actual.
They've done a 3 or 4 part series on Bigfoot. Yeah.
A podcast of Bigfoot and their habitat and where they are or type of thing, or whatnot. Salt Fork, is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it Salt Fork?
Yeah.
And I mean, so when you've got our version of FWC, who's covering it up, different story, but coming out and doing a series podcast on the Ohio Grassman, that's huge. And a lot of people don't even know that. Many people I've talked about, the Department of Natural Resources for Ohio had to do.
Yeah, I believe it's ODNR YouTube site.
Yep. So they literally got state officials basically coming out and talking about it. Representative anyway.
Well, it's a big money maker too, So.
Yeah, cash grab. Anything. I've
Yeah.
been to 2 or 3 different airports and bought Bigfoot stickers in the airports.
Right.
Everybody's capitalizing on this. Everybody.
We have Hocking Hills, which is also well known for Bigfoot sightings here.
Yeah.
That's only 40 minutes from us.
Oh,
And
so
Salt Fork, which
Salt
is
Fork's
also
about 2
well
hours.
known for. So it's kind of like an Ohio thing. And a lot of people, of course, some of them poke and make fun of it, but a lot of people, the more you talk about it, the more they come out and they tell you stories.
Yeah, it's like when I first met her, and
I thought he was nuts.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I'm like, you believe in what?
And then
But I didn't grow up around here. I'm an Army brat.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
a transplant.
Yeah.
So this was totally new to me. But
Yeah.
and then he started taking me with him and met some amazing people. Now I'm hooked.
Yeah, we've met so many great people in this field.
Like you
It's
said, we
awesome,
met
yeah.
you guys down in
Yeah,
Florida.
met you guys at Florida
Mhm.
conference a couple times, and just everywhere we go, everybody's so nice.
Let's talk about that on everywhere you go. You do some traveling, don't you?
He does a lot.
How,
I mean,
how
I
many
mean,
how many different state conferences have you been to?
the conferences.
Not a lot of conferences. I mean, we love going to the conferences, but we just rather take off for a weekend and a long weekend, or a week at a time or something, and just go.
Yeah,
do our
we've
thing,
hunted
you know.
more states than we've actually been to conferences.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been
Gotcha.
to Florida for a couple of the conferences, mainly
Yeah.
because of Tim T.
Yeah,
Because when we started talking to him, and then he invited us down, and we just love him and Waynette.
yeah.
So then we went back the second time, and
And
more to visit the fellowship with all of them.
then I went down to Florida to the Green Swamp in May. Spent a week down there at Chris Connor's house,
Mhm.
and along with Chris Reinhardt and Tim T and Joey Bruce, we all went out every night to the Green Swamp to do some investigating. So,
But Bud's also traveled. He's been to Canada twice to Snail
Yeah.
Grove Lake
Wow.
out there twice.
Jeez. How was that? How was that?
it was fun. It was fun. It was different. I mean, it was fun.
Was it for hunting or was it for
It's
research?
for Bigfoot.
Any
We went up
any
there
luck?
with,
He was. You can say you were disappointed.
yeah, I mean, I was disappointed. I was hoping we'd get a lot more evidence or interaction.
Yeah.
But I mean, I tried to provide ample opportunity for them guys to give me some, and I mean, I went out on the lake in the middle of the night for a couple hours, and I just used my thermal night vision to scan. 'Cause out in the middle of that lake, you can see probably 20 miles of shoreline.
Yeah.
You just 360s and nothing there. And we did get a whoop and what we call a big thunder knock. It's the loudest knock. I mean, you could actually feel the reverberation
Off
in
the
your
water.
chest.
Yeah.
I mean, like, wow. And Chris Reinhardt named it the thunder knock, and I'm like, boy, that's very appropriate. You
You know what, though? You can't be disappointed because you don't know. And
Well,
more times than not, you come back empty-handed.
Oh, yeah,
sure,
yeah,
definitely.
I mean,
it's just a numbers thing. You're going
once in a lifetime
to strike
opportunity.
out more.
Yeah.
Twice in a lifetime.
I mean,
Well,
Bobby
so
and I,
I had to go back to the second time.
the only thing constant that me and Bobby got every time we went out were freaking ticks. The only thing we got constantly that never failed, we got 100% of the time in Ocala National Forest was covered in ticks. So, I mean,
And the
that's
reason you probably thought we were from West Virginia is because that's one of our favorite hunting spots.
Yeah.
We go to West Virginia.
Our two best spots. Well, one in West Virginia, we lost. The owner sold the property.
no,
And then it's Flat Rocks. I think about everybody knows Flat Rocks.
In Alabama.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that's our two best evidence places we've been to. We've got the most interaction and everything. So.
So, yeah.
And we're supposed to go back this year. Another landowner contacted us here in West Virginia.
A
Wanted
new
to go
area to
Yes,
hunt.
check
so
out
we're
their
excited.
place. He swears up and down they've got Bigfoot. So we're going to go find out, hopefully.
What's the
right
name
on.
of the
That's awesome.
Monongahela, here you say it.
Nope, that's why I have you say it.
Monongahela National Forest. She can't say it, so
I
I'll just give her a head.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're
We'll-
hoping.
Bob, you can spell it out. We'll let one of the moderators spell it out.
You
'cause
spell
I
it, you
ain't-
say it, and I'll just
I ain't
agree.
gonna try.
Yeah.
So, Bud, have you had any experiences, meaning sightings or
No sightings, but
audios?
I've been drilled in the chest once, hit in the back once. A lot of whoops and hollers and a lot of great audio, but she's the one that just actually had a sighting down at Flat Rocks last time we was there in end of September, October, first of all.
It was the beginning of October.
That's right, bow season. Yeah, bow season just came in, and we missed the first weekend of bow season, so because we went to Flat Rocks, which we'd gladly do anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Flat Rocks are great. We went down there with Joe Parker and Pat Harrison, Blue Eyed Northern, and
they're in the chat tonight.
Judy didn't make it that time, did she?
Not the second time.
Yeah.
That was our second time there.
Yeah,
our first time we had a lot of experiences too.
Yeah.
But that place is off the charts.
Yes, it's good. Phyllis, oh shoot, I can't pronounce her name, but John Lamb and his wife, they went down there here recently and had a sighting too. So
yeah, awesome. Well, Angie, let's hear this. Every detail, whatever you got, it might help somebody else. You know.
Okay. Well, we went down for a week, and we started in Alabama. We went to a meet and greet down there because we enjoy the conferences, but we love the camping meet and greets because that's when you actually get out, camp with people, really get to know them. Yeah. We got in the woods a little bit, but so many people there, we don't really go for the hunting. We just go for the experience to meet everybody. So we went down there for a few days to the meet and greet in Alabama first. And then from there, we traveled on down because we were, like 2.5 hours from Flat Rocks?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So we went down to Flat Rocks from there. And we pulled in the first night, and Joe and Pat joined us. And we didn't plan on doing anything that night, but we were all tired, just unpacked, got everything set up. Because we camp out of the back of our truck.
Yeah.
And then Joe and Pat have a camper, so they had it set up. And we were just sitting around. And thing you got to know about Flat Rock is he's got the most amazing dog. This dog, we call it his name is Boo, but we call him Boo the boogering dog because this dog is the biggest, laziest, sweetest dog. Doesn't do anything, but if there's a booger around, that dog will alert. I've never seen nothing like it. And he will come from a deep sleep, which he did that night. Yeah. He will point like a hunting dog does. And he will take off to the woods and bark and growl up and down that tree line. He won't go in the trees, but he will bark up and down that tree line to alert you something's there, which we believe is a booger. And then once it's gone or whatever, the dog will calm down. He'll go lay down like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Well, we experienced that the first time we went last year. Well, this time, like I said, we got there, we got set up. Everybody was relaxing. Boo was laying there snoring like he usually does. And he just alerted and he jumped up. And it was dark. It was probably around.
It was almost 9, I think.
Yeah. And he took off for the tree line and he pointed. He stopped and pointed. And Bud jumped up immediately and was like, I'm going to follow him. So he grabbed
Tell him what Flat Rock told us about Boo.
Well, we'd known that from the year before that he would alert when there was a booger close. So Boo took off. Bud jumped up and he grabbed the thermal, which is normally what I use. But he grabbed the thermal and he took off. Well, I went to go after him because I don't like Bud just taking off. It worries me. And plus, I don't want to miss something. So I jumped up after him and I grabbed the night vision, which I really don't know a whole lot about it. I know how to turn it on, but that's about it. So I turned on the night vision and Bud had followed Boo down the tree line. And it was about, 25 yards from the camper? Yeah. 25, 30 yards. And I started down the tree line after Bud. Well, I stopped and I took the night vision and I just started to scan. I really didn't expect to see nothing because Boo and Bud was further down the tree line. So I thought, well, let me just get this thing focused and ready to go. And I seen something move and I froze and I'm looking at through the night vision at this thing. And it was huge. I mean, it had like the outline, big black mass, but it was almost like a perfect outline that came down, huge shoulders. And it was just standing there staring at me. And I froze because my mind's going, what am I seeing? What is this? It was like all so quick. And I remember just hollering for Bud because I'm like, he's got to see this. He's got to come see this. So I started going, Bud, 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 Bud. Well, about that time, this thing heard me and it just went, and I mean, just so quick for something so big. It just zoom, was gone. It was like it was on wheels or something. It just was gone back behind the tree.
No sense.
No, I heard nothing. I smelt nothing. So Bud come running up to me, and I'm trying to get my stuff together to try to explain and try to make myself realize what I had just seen. And then, well, by this time, Boo had calmed down, and he was heading back to the camper to lay down. So we kind of got ourselves together. I walked back over, and Pat and Joe was sitting there, and Pat immediately grabbed a notebook, and she's like, okay, Angie, while it's all fresh, think about me. Think about it. What did you see? What, just kind of started going over everything with me. And we tried to go over there with it being dark to kind of get an idea of how far he was, how tall he was. But it was so dark, and there was thorn bushes. But when Tim and Flat Rock got back to where I'd seen it at, you could see a trail where it looked like something had been walking up and down this and cleared out a trail. And from where it was standing, Bud went over there, and you could see perfectly to where we were sitting out at the camper, like you was watching TV, because we had the lights on at the camper. So I don't know how long it had been standing there watching us before Boo alerted, but it just kind of blew my mind, like, wow, if that dog hadn't told us it was there, he could have sat there all night and watched us, and we would have had no clue, because we weren't out there at that time looking. We were just out there kicking back, relaxing, trying to make a game plan of what we wanted to do for the next couple days. So it was pretty amazing.
I'd told Flat Rock that I said, Flat Rock, I'm going to put your dog to the test. I said, you've always told me this dog alerts and takes off when there's a booger around. And so I'm putting him to the test. And he's like, yeah, go ahead, bub. He said, no problem. So we're all sitting there talking, and a dog it was laying there sleeping right in front of us. And it just jumps up and I said, and I'm right behind it, chasing it, and I get over to the fence row. I thought I was the only one that even done anything. So I was over there, and Boo stopped and went on point. And so I started using my thermal, and I started going up and down that tree line, and Boo started walking. So I started walking down that tree line filming, and then Boo just took off like, okay, they're gone. And I'm like, what in the world? So I'm probably, I'm to the backside of his trailer by then. And all of a sudden I hear Angie, who I didn't know got up. She starts screaming my name. I turn around. I'm like, what in the world? So I go running back here. And then, like she said, as soon as it happened, Pat Harrison started taking notes. And then as soon as she was done with that, we got her calmed down. And then me and Flat Rock and Joe Parker, we had the girls film us as we went to where she's seen it and tried to reenact it right then. It wasn't half hour later, probably. We got her calmed down, and then me and Flat Rock and Joe was all in the woods. They were reading. Said, "Well, all right, where you was there? Where was this thing at?" And then we also done it in the morning too, when we could see better too.
Well, now when he says calm down, I don't want you to think I was like freaking out.
She wasn't freaking out.
I wasn't crying. I wasn't hysterical. I was just more, I think, in shock and trying to comprehend and make sense
processing.
What my mind had seen, because I'd never seen or experienced anything like that. And who knows if I ever will again, but it was unreal.
It was only 20, 25 foot sighting. So
it was, I still lay in bed sometimes at night and I think about it and I run it through my mind. I'm like, I did see that. I know I've seen that. I still.
But the more we analyze it and talk to Joe and Pat, I believe there was two of them. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, because the one she seen was, apparently I must have walked by it or something. I must have passed him. But as I'm filming, I mean, we didn't even think to check the thermal until the next day. And then because Pat was like, "Hey, Bud, wasn't you filming?" I said, "Yeah, I was, but I got so caught up with Angie trying to take care of her that I completely forgot." So we loaded the thermal footage, and there's movement. I sent that to you on your phone, Jimmy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm working out. I sent it to Bobby.
I've got it pulled up. I can share the screen.
Well, this one here, I had Doug Highcheck's right-hand tech guy. He stabilized it for me. The one I just sent Jim, and he sent it to me a couple days ago.
Yeah, I didn't want to be rude looking away, but I'm on my phone trying to forward it to Bobby and whatnot.
I mean, it ain't nothing definitive, but
you can see something moving back behind the bush. But being where
it's
that was where Boo was at, that's where I had just had my sighting. So it kind of all comes together.
Yeah, I mean, it completes the story. You know, I mean, I didn't see nothing. You know, even though I caught movement on my thermal, but I heard her behind me start calling my name, and so. But the other one I sent you, Adam Colt, he stabilized it for me and sent it back to me. And ain't nothing definitive, but it does show that there's movement heading to my left inside the wood line, and the one she sees is behind me in the wood line.
But if that thing moves as quick as I seen it move, it could be just one just moving that. I don't understand how they can move so darn quick.
Before we watched the video, when you guys went back and you did a comparison, did you get a estimated size?
Yeah, we figure we're 7 to 7.5 foot tall.
That's awesome.
I mean, not huge like everybody says 9, 10 foot. No,
7.5 is plenty big, man.
Yeah,
it's plenty big for me.
Especially when you're Angie, who's what, maybe 5'2", 5'3".
I'm 5'4".
5'4".
On a good day.
Come on, disrespect.
On a good day when I stand completely upright. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I know she's not real tall.
No.
and 7 foot looks.
Yeah.
7.5 feet, 25 feet away. It's going to be pretty big.
It was so wide, like its shoulder, with just the width of that thing was so
looked
wide.
like a piece of 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
It was just, and it just blows my mind how quick it moved.
Yeah.
And I heard nothing. Of course, I'm rambling like an idiot at this point. So if I could have heard it, all I hear is blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, but I didn't smell nothing. I didn't smell like some people say a skunk or anything like that.
When you guys went back for the comparison during the daytime, did you say there were impressions or anything where it was standing?
Yeah. Yeah, there was an impression like the animal, the thing looked like it took a step and then turned its heel to push off to
you could
stay on that trail. But you can see where the pine needles was all pushed up in the impression. I mean, with all the pine needles, you couldn't cast it, but it looked like it planted and twisted its foot and switched directions.
Yeah, actually,
quickly.
Pat had found that when we went out the next day. I didn't even think about looking, and she was like, "Look at this," and it did look like something had planted and pushed up leaves.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think that's on our video, isn't it?
Yeah, which I'm not trying to plug our channel because I don't.
Plug it. You plug it during and after the show. Plug it. Absolutely, that's why you're here.
No, if they want to see the video, what we're talking about, it's on our video under our channel.
Yeah, Return to Flat Rocks.
Return to Flat Rocks, and it shows that little impression.
It shows the
impression. And it's got Bud's video on there of the thermal. It's got the full length one.
Yeah, the whole time I was thermal, it was like 4.5 minutes. I was even changing, the white hot, black hot, fusion, red hot, just to see if something showed up better. I got a theory on their heat signatures, so I was trying to see which one showed up better. But I didn't see nothing as I was filming. But apparently something was there moving away from me.
Yeah, and like Joe said, the next day there was no smell then either.
Yeah.
So if I hadn't seen it, witnessed it with my own eyes, we would have had. And if Boo hadn't alerted us, that's what gets me. Who knows how many times these things are around watching, and we have no idea. Yeah. Because if we didn't have a dog like Boo, the boogering dog, who alerted to it, I would have never got up and walked over there to that tree line that night and had that night vision and look. I never would have seen him. So, I mean, it kind of all came together perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing is if whenever we go out, I usually give her the thermal because it's real easy to use, and I take the night vision. Well, when Boo took off, I just grabbed the closest thing to me, which happened to be the thermal. But the night vision, you have to turn it on, and then, you can see through ambient light. But you also have to hit the IR button, 1, 2, or 3 times, to illuminate everything.
Right.
But she didn't know that. She also didn't know you had to hit the record button either.
I did good turning it on.
Yeah, she did good turning it on. So. But
picture mode and video remote, picture mode and video mode, and choosing all those right settings.
I just said, okay, I can see now.
Yeah, and from the ambient light, she can make out the silhouette. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's my fault for always taking the night vision, I guess.
But like you said, always be prepared. So that was my fault because I didn't know my equipment. I never even thought about it. I just I didn't want Bud taking off by himself. And I thought, well, I've never messed with this. Let me see if I can see anything with it. Never dreamed I actually would. But so I went from thinking he was nuts and a non-believer to like totally. I've seen it now. I know it.
Yeah, now I did give her a warning on my behalf. Before we got married, I said, "Now listen here, woman." I said, October,
he said
November.
It just like that. Too.
I did. I said, October, November. I said, you won't see me much because deer season's in. And I said, when I retire, I'm going Bigfoot hunting everywhere I can go. And I said, you can either go with me or without me. It's up to you. I'd love for you to go, but if you don't want to.
And then what did I tell you? You're not getting rid of me that
Yeah, I'm not getting rid of her that easy.
I want to try this deer thing.
Yeah.
And
now she's hooked on both.
Now I
can't get rid of her.
Hey.
Nice.
Now I've had 4 bucks and 2 does. So
and a Bigfoot. And a Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't knowing better than believing?
Big time, yes. It just takes this whole any doubt I had that was there, because I still thought, well, I've met so many people that are so believable and I know their stories are true. Yeah, but I still had that little bit of doubt, like, but once you see it and you know, now I know.
Yeah, she was white for an hour afterwards and then shook for another couple hours.
But it was more of the adrenaline.
Yeah, it's more of adrenaline thing.
Because now I want to get back out. I want to experience.
Yeah, her and Pat the very next night, that they went back in the woods there where me and Joe cleared out a spot for them. And it was about 100, 110 yards, something like that. But they sat back there from 9 to 10:30, I think.
We sat back there a little over an hour, just me and Pat.
Just with audio recorders.
We had
and night
2
vision
chairs. We sat back to back so we could cover everything. And this was all Pat's idea. And I was like, let's do it. After that, I was hooked. I'm like, let's do it. I need more. I need to experience more. I don't want anything scary, though. Yeah. I'm okay, but I didn't feel like I was in danger. I didn't feel scared. I felt like this thing was more scared of me than I was of it.
Yeah.
The way it took off out of there.
You know what to say about a woman's wrath.
That's right. So, I mean, it was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to go back to Flat Rocks. Yeah. I mean, he's lived with them for years, and yeah.
Plus, Flat Rock's just a heck of a person.
He's an amazing person.
Great guy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have met some of the best people, like lifelong friends, doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be honest and tell them, and most people will look at you like you're nuts and want to judge you, and and it's totally different when you get around people that have the same beliefs and are interested in the same things like that.
Yeah, agreed. Our mods, they're great people. So far, everybody that's subscribed to our channel has been nothing but positive and reaching out and helping and guiding. There's a lot of good people in the Bigfoot community. There's a lot of genuine people in the Bigfoot community just looking for somebody else to believe them.
They're just interested in the truth. They want to know what's out there. They're not worried about making a big name for themselves.
Yeah, they just want
They're
somebody
not worried
to listen
about
to
making
them,
money. They just want to know what's really out there.
Yeah. And Dave Bacar from Expedition Bigfoot Museum in Cherry Log, Georgia. He explained it to me one time when I was at the museum. He's like, it's just, I'm gonna paraphrase it. He's like, it's terrible that you would tell somebody about your encounter just to have them ridicule you right after telling you. He's like, you're getting double traumatized at the same time. I mean, when somebody doesn't believe something that affected your life, it's another type of trauma. Just it makes you feel like, Angie, you want to see another one again. When I had my childhood encounter, 2 of them 5 feet away, as an adult, I want to see another one because I still think maybe I'm crazy. You want.
And then like where we take off and go hunting, I still work. So when I went back to work, when we came back, everyone will kind of tease you, and they'll joke around and they'll be like, "Oh, did you find Bigfoot?" And this time I said, "Yeah, I did." And they're like, "Okay." Nobody asked me nothing else about it because they knew this time. No, Angie's serious.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's go ahead, like you said.
No, like I said, that's why being together with other people that believe it's so much. It's just makes you feel, you're not crazy, and you don't not necessarily care what other people think, but it's nice to know when I talk to people that they believe me.
Yeah, they're gonna listen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm really, really anxious to see that video.
Oh,
Can you make that full screen
I'm gonna have to do it as a screen share because there's no way for me to download it. So I'll just.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, you want me to send you that the stabilized
I think-
version?
If it's the one you sent Jimmy, I have it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah,
stabilized.
he sent it straight over to me.
Okay, good.
Oh goodness, where you at?
I think it's only a 15
Yeah,
second.
everything we've ever caught, we have no problem sharing with anybody that wants it. We're
yeah.
not in this for anything but
Yeah.
for us to find things that help us believe what we experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Full screen. Bring it back down here.
Bottom right, there's a big square. Makes your full screen.
Gotcha. Let me
Okay.
give me just 1 second, Jim.
There you go.
Okay.
And rewind that sucker.
Yeah, which everybody can take out of it what they want. Just there's that big bush right there, and then you can see like a different. It's not super bright like what people would put off. So that's.
I'm going to bring it back to the beginning, and you guys can tell us what's going on here.
Well, I mean, when he caught it at first, we didn't know anything, but like you could just kind of see when he stands back there, that bush. There's something back there that moves.
You're right there on the right
behind
side of that bush.
Yeah.
Yep. I see the head, like the crown kind of poking over the branch a little bit. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, each their own. We
yeah,
don't
I mean,
we don't do the.
Yeah, I don't claim what it is. It's just movement right at the time.
Everybody can kind of take what they want from it, but with the story that goes like what was happening at the time.
Everything fits together nice.
Because otherwise, if we had just looked at this normally, we probably wouldn't have even caught it.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even realize I caught anything at all until Pat suggested we the next day check it out. And you can see it moving, something moving right there.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know. I didn't even
he's
notice
walking
it.
down the tree line. He didn't even realize.
I didn't even notice it.
And I'm back over to the left.
See, I kept hearing something back behind me to the left where Angie eventually seen hers, but I never seen that.
Because you didn't have a night vision that you didn't know how to work. That's how. See?
Yeah.
That's what you were missing.
But it actually looks like it's walking away because from the view from the camera there, it's all downhill from there. It starts sloping downhill. So I mean, it actually looks like something's trying to go away from me downhill.
Oh, you sent him a long 2-minute one.
Oh, did I?
I think he sent me a 4-minute one.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, you don't have to play that.
Yeah, you don't have to play the whole thing.
That's the whole.
Yeah.
But like the actual part that had the movement was just that little part we were talking about.
The first minute shows most of the movement.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like I said, anyone's more than welcome, and I don't care about the views. I don't know nothing about that. We're not monetized, none of that stuff. But if you want to just watch the whole video and pull it up on your big screen or whatever, you're welcome to go over and check it out. And then it has the footprints we found in there and that kind of stuff. Most of our videos are more goofing off that we make for our family to watch.
Yeah.
So, but any of the Bigfoot stuff they might be interested in.
Yeah.
I don't think they care nothing about us zip lining or any of that stuff. But we do it. Our family does. That's why we do it.
As soon as you sent that to Jimmy, he sent it to me, and I looked, and as soon as it took me a minute to get it pulled up, but I immediately saw it, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Like I said, the first 15 seconds to a minute's the best stuff.
Yeah, you can clearly see something moving.
I mean, I ain't saying what it is. You can just see movement. That's it.
Yeah.
But everything put together like a puzzle, it just worked out great,
And it was that first night when we weren't even set up. We weren't ready.
Yeah, we just got done setting up camp, and we was all
That's
wore
what
out.
gets me. All the rest of the time, you're planning.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go out. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. You be in charge of this equipment. You be in charge of.
Yeah.
And this, we're just sitting there kicking it.
Yeah.
Talking about how much we ate and Pat's wonderful cooking and always go camping with a professional chef. She's a professional chef and she hooks us up.
Oh yeah.
So we were lucky we could even get up and move to go to the tree lines to look for it, but
you're in a food coma.
Yeah. So it was I still just get goosebumps talking about it. I just can't wait to get back down there.
Did you guys have any knocks or any did you hear it creep up? I mean, what
No, we
Anything,
had no
nothing.
idea,
No,
nothing that it was even
Nothing.
there until Boo alerted.
Yeah.
The dog. That's right.
The dog. That I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's what everybody needs when they go Bigfooting.
Yeah.
They need a booger and dog.
Now the 3 days we was there, I picked up a lot of especially at night, picked up a lot of walking in the woods. But I mean, I ain't gonna say that because I mean you could say it's anything. But
Yeah.
we caught a couple howls. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, her sighting was awesome, but I mean, besides that, we didn't have a lot of interaction.
Now, if I got time real quick to tell about our first time we went last year,
Plenty
we
of time.
went. Okay, we went down there and we went with our friend Jody, who is a trained opera singer. She studies classical
opera. Yeah.
I don't know. She knows all that fancy stuff.
But she knows which tone is which note.
So we went down there and come up with an idea because we like to try different things.
Yeah.
Because everyday normal stuff's not doing a whole lot. So we went down and she was listening to some of the audio people get of the Bigfoot howls and whoops. And so she was studied it and she kind of learned to mimic it. So we went out down towards the tree line that night, which we have all that on tape. It's under our trip to Flat Rocks, right?
I think so.
But anyway, so we went down there and Jody let out a holler.
Two of them.
And hit the exact, which she could tell you, F.
Well, the first two we didn't get nothing back.
D flat, F.
Yeah, I think she was
I don't know.
She's got perfect pitch. She got perfect pitch.
She hit the exact pitch that they will use on what she was listening to. Well, at first we didn't get much response. The whole woods went dead silence. Nothing. And then this thing whooped back in the exact same pitch that she had let out. And it freaked her out so bad because she said, there's no way an animal can mimic me and hit that exact note I did. It's not coming from a coyote. It's not coming from this or that or this. It really blew her mind.
Yeah, we got 3 howls like we was triangulated. 3 different howls right after she did that.
And then the dogs went nuts.
The dogs, coyotes, everything went nuts in.
But yeah, and I think what amazed me more with it was the reaction she got being trained in that.
Yeah.
It freaked her out. I mean, bad. And to me, I thought it was really cool, but to see her reaction from it, I thought, okay, this is something pretty special. This means something. So, I mean, that was definitely interesting. That was the major thing. That's what made us definitely want to go back to Flat Rocks again because we knew they're there.
Yeah.
Something was going on, and they like to come up and watch.
This coming year, I'm going to check out the river right there by his house, and I'm hoping to what's some things we got? Oh, kayak. I'm hoping to take my kayak and do a night float down that river. It's only about a quarter mile from his house. And I just want to do a night float down that river with my thermal night vision and see what I can get. And have some audio recorders and stuff.
Well, you might be on your own. I don't think.
I figured it would be. So.
I'll wait on the shoreline and waiting for you to come back.
But yeah, I'm wanting. I got some new cameras and stuff I want to set up and try. A lot of good stuff planned for this year, I guess.
But what have we learned? You're going to get stuff happen when you're not ready for it.
About it.
Yeah. Always be filming. So your friend who was the opera singer, when she got that reply, did it spark an interest or did she just check out completely after that?
She took off running by me. I went.
At first, it really freaked her out to where it scared her.
Yeah. Now she's really.
But now she's still in it. She's still going. Yeah. She went to the meet and greet with us. She just wasn't able to take off enough work to go to Flat Rocks with us.
Gotcha.
But yeah, she definitely wants to get back down. Yeah. I don't know if she'll do that call again. But
I'm sure she will.
I'm sure I could coax her into it. I can be pretty persuasive.
Yeah, she lives in northwest Georgia, and we've told her I don't know how many. She goes out by herself.
Oh yeah,
and she can't get nobody to go with her. And I told her, I said, "Be careful, Jody."
Yeah.
I said, I mean, there's animals, but if you just fall and twist or break your ankle, nobody knows where you're at.
I'm sure everybody just seen that horrible story about those 2 guys that went out Bigfoot hunting and they found.
I think it was Oregon, wasn't it? Did you hear about that, Jim? Too?
Yep.
Now the thing don't seem right to me is it's wintertime. They're going out looking for Bigfoot, so they're going to be prepared, clothes-wise, heat, stuff like it. But they find them froze to death. That don't make sense. I mean, if you're going out knowing the conditions, I mean, you ain't gonna go out there in shorts and t-shirt, are you?
Right.
I mean, that they said hypothermia was the cause of death. That don't make sense to me.
What they say, exposure. They died from
Yeah,
exposure.
I mean, to me, if you're going out in winter looking for hunting or anything, you're going to be dressed for it and prepared for it. I don't make sense. I mean,
unless they got a flash blizzard, that's about the only thing that makes sense.
Heavy snow seems like that'd be hard to walk in. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
and I can't see, of course. I'm living here down south where we are not trudging through snow. But I can't see trudging through a whole lot of snow. Researching was it on Christmas Day, wasn't it?
Even if they had heavy snow, you're gonna have snowshoes.
Was it on Christmas Day?
Oh, was it on Christmas Day?
Was it on Christmas Day or the day after?
I think it was the 23rd or 24th, wasn't it? Because they were supposed to be back before Christmas. They were supposed to be back on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. There's a lot of strange things that when somebody comes up deceased, missing, or whatnot, there's just always things that don't sound like they add up. But sometimes it just is what it is too. But it does seem strange. It does, why would you go out in the snow and not be prepared for
I don't make
the snow
sense.
Unless there was a lot of drinking going on, not great decisions or whatnot. If they were new to this, I mean, were they hunters? Were they
they told
the moment?
From what I understand, they told their families they was going Bigfoot hunting and they'd be back Christmas Eve.
Right. He's saying, do they have a history
experience
with hunting? They wouldn't have experience.
I don't know. I didn't catch on that if they was or not, but still, I mean, I'd hope you'd be smart enough if it's cold out, put on a coat.
Yeah, that way. The point was just like we tell Jody, don't go by yourself and always be safe. That's what's number one is, and you don't know what you're going to get into.
I mean, now I admit there's a lot of times I go by myself and there's a lot of things I'll do. There's a lot of things I won't do if Angie's with me. I just try to be as cautious as I can, especially around other people.
I'm the same way, taking the boys out. There'll be things that I'll do when I don't have them. And I won't do those when I have them because I'm not going to put them in any kind of danger. I don't want to take them deep and something happen to me because they're not experienced. Worst case scenario, they eat me and live off my food, my flesh for, I don't know. Both my kids are sissies. They would definitely starve. They wouldn't eat me. I wanted to touch on, you said something about you had a theory on the thermal on the different filters. What's your theory?
The AGN, I believe it's 160 model. I think that's the name of it, the model number. But as you notice from that thermal video, I don't know what did you see the video of that car tire in the car, how much that glowed?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you shine it on other people, have you got one, Jim? You got a thermal, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Well, then you know how people just glow in that thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you notice on that video, there was movement, but it wasn't glowing. I mean, there wasn't no animal on the ground. It was at least, 4 or 5 foot tall there, it looked like. Yeah. And, but it wasn't glowing. And I've always, I mean, it's just a theory. I ain't saying it's true, just something I'm looking more into, is either they can regulate their body heat or their hair covering insulates their body heat from glowing, like that. I mean, that's just a theory.
You might be on something, but it might be both. I mean,
well, there are animals that can regulate their body heat.
It might be both.
Yeah, it could be, but I ain't saying for sure. What that's just a theory I've got. Just to get.
You got any neighbors got chickens, bud?
No.
No. Okay, if you could look at some chickens through a thermal.
Yeah, I'll try that.
They put out almost no body heat in their body. You see their beaks and their heads and their feet, and their body puts out very.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they're outside in the cold. They got to be in the feathers well insulated.
The feathers is covering all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're layered too.
Yeah. If they've got a lot of hair, then maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it could. Yeah, except for maybe their eyes or hand or fingers or.
So maybe while we're hunting with these thermals, you might be passing over them and you're not even realizing you're passing because you're looking for something that's glowing.
Yeah, I'm looking for stuff glowing because when Boo alerted, I said, "Well, I don't see nothing right off here. There's got to be an animal in here." Yeah, so I'm looking for an animal, a coon or a possum or something. And but I didn't see nothing, and I didn't even notice that when I was taking it until the next day. Pat said, "Hey, why don't we download that and since you was filming, see if there's anything."
But I will say for Boo, we have seen that dog lay there while cats run by and everything, and he does not get up.
He'll just look.
He'll just look.
Yeah.
He's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see him jump up and alert like that, it does make you think, okay, something is going on. And like he actually like pointed, tail out, nose pointed before he took off for that wood line, that tree line. So it definitely makes me Boo is a booger and dog. There ain't a doubt in it.
Yeah.
He got extra treats that night. He didn't need them, but he got them because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had my experience.
Yeah, I mean it might be just what you say, but it might be self-regulating, and it might be their hair, both. Because these things have been seen in the Himalayas. They've been seen in the desert. Yeah. They've been seen down in the Keys here in Florida.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And that's just crazy. That they're adaptable. They've been here for a long time. The Native Americans tell us they've been here for a long time, all over the United States, all over Canada. They've been here for a long time. The cold winters, the hot summers, they're adapting. What if they're self-regulating or whatnot, or they have the ability to partially self-regulate.
And that's the thing. There are known animals that are able to regulate their body temperature.
Yeah.
So maybe they can too.
It's not a far fetch.
No, it's not that far-fetched. It's not that far-fetched at all.
Well, I mean, that really impressed me when I didn't even notice anything moving while I was filming it. And I mean, if it hadn't been for Pat, I don't know when we'd looked at that film.
If we'd really looked, I mean, you would have probably looked at it, but
I probably looked at it, but I mean, I wasn't
in no hurry to look
No,
at
well,
it.
Yeah. Nobody's going to beat you up by going out by yourself. I think everybody on our team goes out by ourselves more often than not because we're so damn far from each other. Richard's like an hour and a half away. He goes out by himself all the time. He doesn't want to. When I go out, I'm mostly by myself. Don't really want to. But gosh, if you wait around just till somebody can go out with you, you may never end up going out. Well, Bobby's 3+ hours away from us, so we don't get together as a group hardly at all. We wish we could. We should try to make it more often.
that'd be awesome if you had somebody on a regular basis to go with.
Yeah,
Well,
once a week.
You got me.
Yeah. I took my wife out. Spur of the moment thing. It was Monday. I took Monday off. I believe it was Monday. Damn, I don't know if it was Sunday or Monday, but it was a couple days ago. I took my wife out. I was like, let's go get my recorder. It's out there at the group campground down here in Florida, west of West Palm Beach, near Indiantown. And we get there, and it's 6.7 miles from the blacktop to that campground. Once you pull off the blacktop and you go down the dirt road, it's 6.7 miles to get to it.
Yeah, it takes you about a half an hour.
Because they grade the road. They grade the road.
It's a terrible road. Terrible road.
No matter how new your vehicle is, it's rattling by the time you get done. And we went back there, and because I had a permit to go back there for a couple times in December, so I still had the gate code. Plus, you can still go back there at nighttime. Just you can't camp if you don't have the permit to camp. And I went back there, and there was a party going on. There had to be at least 30 plus Latinos or Hispanics back there. Tents. They had a huge projector screen going. They had DJ back. I'm not joking. They threw one hell of a party back there, and I was going to go out and get my recorder and set another one. But nah, I got my other one. I drove right through their camp, and they stopped me, and I was like, "Yeah, I left some research equipment out here. I'll be in and out. You won't even know I'm here." And they're like, "Okay, amigo." I went and got it. I'm like, yeah. I mean, they've got a DJ out here. I can't leave a recorder out here. I'm just going to be hearing, all kinds of nothing, that I don't want to hear. But we got places out here that you can leave a recorder and get stuff, and then the same area you'll get nothing. And you talked about some of the howls and sounds that what is up there. You guys got the Grassman in Ohio.
Yeah, that's what they
And
call them.
word on the street is he's a little bigger and a little meaner and nastier than your average Bigfoot.
That's what they say.
Because he's corn fed.
Must be what it was. That's why
That's why our deer are so big. Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen deer here, but deer here look like Dobermans.
you mean
Yeah.
German Shepherds down there?
Yeah.
They're small. We went back to Illinois for Thanksgiving, and I was like, damn, the deer are so much bigger here than they are back in Florida. But have you guys, your grandmother, you told me at the beginning of the show, had told you about, stories and stuff. Are there any particular ones that stood out to you?
Well, when I first went to live with my grandparents, my grandpa had hogs and chickens, and the hog pen was clear down over the hill, almost in the holler, where the chickens were right there behind the house. But every year we'd go down to get a hog to butcher. Grandpa would turn one loose. He'd always tell me Grandpa had 106 acres woods and 60 acres tillable, and so he'd say, "Boy," he said, "you can hunt anywhere you want. Just don't go down here to the right of the hog pen behind the pond and that little 4 or 5 acres there." And so he'd always turn a hog loose whenever we go get one. I'm like, what in the world? So I asked, I said, "Grandpa, why are you turning the hog loose?" And Grandpa's a man of few words, but he'd say, "Did I tell you, boy?" And they're like, "Okay, I didn't tell you, don't need to know." So but I always wanted, and then once I started watching YouTube, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever, about Bigfoot, I heard other stories of people like sacrificing animals to leave the rest of the stuff alone. But I don't know. It's just weird. And my grandma would always ask me if I seen any teepees in the woods. I get to laughing because me and Grandpa was big Western. We loved watching Westerns.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Grandma, there ain't no teepees down there. They killed all us Indians off or sent us out west. There ain't no teepee." So I was 11 or 12, got my first bow, and shot. Well, I thought it was a big buck then, but it was a buck. So I hid a little bit back, so I just backed out and gave it a couple hours, and I went back tracking it, and sure enough, that daggone buck was going down there behind that hog lot, behind the pond into that area. Grandpa told me I was never allowed to go. And even our neighbor, Charlie Mead, he'd always tell me, he said, "Boy, don't go down there where I dump my trash. And it's close to where your grandpa's pond is." He said, "Don't go in that area." But Grandpa always taught me you don't shoot nothing you don't eat. You don't waste. So I'm like, man, do I get a switching for going in that property where I was told not to go, or get a switching for not getting an animal that I shot? So I was like, well, either way, I'm gonna get a switching. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna track that buck. Found him, and sure enough, I see, like your typical structure now, the teepee structure without the skins wrapped around it. I was like, I wonder if that's what Grandma was talking about. So I came back up and said, "This is where I messed up." I said, "Grandma, seen one of them teepees down there in the holler." She went off. Because "You're never going down there again. You ain't going back in them woods." I'm like, "Oh, like heck, I ain't." No, I didn't tell her that. I was thinking that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't smart off, But yeah, there's several stories like that. Just weird, And then, they pretty much kept it quiet till I was probably 13, 14, and said, "Yeah, they're back here, and that's what I've taught you and how to act and how to treat." He said, "That ain't your home. It's their home. You treat it like you're a friend's house. You respect their place. Don't leave no trash. Just they know you're there just to hunt, probably." So, but yeah, I just grew up. I never seen one, but I'd be out hunting. I'd be out before daylight, and I'd hear. Turns out they're wood knocks now, but I'd be like, "Well, why is Mr. Airwood out mending fence already?" I'm like, "Man, it ain't even daylight. He surely, he ain't out mending fence or Charlie Mead out there, And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, something ain't right here." But I heard that stuff the whole time I was there, but never knew, So once I graduated, went in the military, and everywhere I went, I started checking for tracks and signs and stuff, to look for. And then got out of the military and went to the prison, and every chance I could, I'd study Bigfoot, try to go out and just And then I told her, I said, hey, when I retire, I said, I said, I've went my whole life taking care of my family, not buying no toys. I said, so when I retire, I've got the money put back so we can go when we want to go, where we want to go. So,
Yeah.
Of course, I did miss the 4-wheelers and motorcycles and campers and boats, and but I'm enjoying it now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good that you're able to enjoy it now.
So have you ever went back to that property that your grandparents lived on since you were an adult?
no,
Or since you start.
it got lost out of the family. So.
Okay, but I mean, is the property still there? Is it still
Oh yeah,
wooded?
I got an uncle who lives adjacent to it, but I don't know, I ain't been out there, man.
Long time.
It's at least been 20 years probably.
I mean, I don't suppose you have any idea who owns it, or maybe you could talk to them. Hey, my grandparents used to own this. I'd like to take a walk around the woods.
I've thought about stopping there, and
I mean, you never know. You could ask them, do you ever hear anything?
Yeah.
They might have stories to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've thought about stopping.
Either that, or they might pull a gun out and say, get out of here, get out of my land.
That's what it was back then. If somebody didn't know you, better be careful.
Yeah.
But of course, when I was living out there, my closest neighbor is 2 miles down the road.
Well, the area he's talking about is named Knock'em Step.
Yeah, it's around Knock'em Step. That's the name of the
So if that
community.
gives you an idea that them boys don't play out there.
Yeah. Them boys, they didn't care what color you was. If they didn't know you, you was screwed. Put it nice.
Yeah.
But it's a different time now.
It was different. Yeah, I mean,
you might be all right to go out and at least ask them.
Yeah. I think they would recognize a good old boy from a city boy too. So I think you might be a little safer than me.
Yeah. I don't like getting shot
Of course,
at.
you pull up with your camo all over your truck and your Bigfoot tailgate,
Yeah.
They're either going to welcome you with open arms, or they're going to pull the gun out. So
Right. 50-50. I gotcha.
But my uncle lives adjacent to that property, so I could go to his property line and look over, I guess.
Accidentally wander across a little bit.
Now again, your uncle, does he know the people that live there?
I don't know. He died. So he died.
He could be on friendly terms, or could have been on friendly terms with
he could have been, but knowing him, I'd
probably not.
I'd bet against that. Yeah.
Miss Diane said, "Carry a white flag with you."
You're right. I come in peace.
I'll just let Angie walk in front of me.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be sacrificed.
You'll be fine. What do you guys think they are? What do you guys got a theory or opinion on what you think these things are?
I don't know.
I think they're people, a race of people.
But the way that thing moved,
I
don't. Maybe they really work out. I don't know, but this thing moves so fast and so stealth. As big as that thing was, I don't know how it could have moved so smooth. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's more natural than its natural environment.
Yeah, he's in his own living room. He knows
where
things are at.
That I was in his yard or his
exactly.
Yeah.
You can navigate your house in the dark better than I can, I promise.
That is true.
And you can get through it really fast, and I promise you, I can't without hurting myself.
Exactly.
And they had a nice trail there. You could tell where something had been coming up and down and beat down an area. There's a nice trail through there.
Yeah, when we done the reenactment that night, of course, I got caught up in. I fell.
That's Bud's thing. Every adventure we go on, he falls.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to have surgery on his meniscus he tore when he was in the Green Swamp.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet we hiked 45 miles that week, and
in Canada, he fell into Snellgrove Lake off the boat. So that's Bud's thing. Is he falls.
Got to have a little bit of comedy in the videos,
Even if it's not on purpose, huh?
Okay. Now Snellgrove Lake. I've heard that before. I've heard that on TV.
Yeah, it's on the History Channel on
Monster Quest
series.
Is that about the town that disappeared?
No.
Was that in Alaska?
No, this is called When Bigfoot Attacks. It's a fishing cabin way out.
Yeah.
He had to take one of those planes, float planes, and lands and drops you off, and then you're out of luck.
It was about an hour, 10 hour and 50-minute flight from their lodge just to get to this cabin out in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, it's a beautiful area, gorgeous.
Yeah.
They drop you off and they fly over once to make sure.
Yeah, they fly over once in the middle of the week just to see if you flag them down or anything. So that's it. You're on your own. You know, they'll bring you supplies.
You know it's gorgeous out there because Bud thinks it's gorgeous even after falling in the lake.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I caught some of my camera traps I had up. I caught some eagles.
Two bald eagles fighting over
my fish.
Nice.
And then I mean, they're gorgeous. And then what else was it I caught?
You had a black bear living around.
I had a black bear come up. Yeah.
Like what? 3 different times he come around?
Yeah, I'm sitting there at the picnic table and what was his name? Joe.
Honey, you went with these guys.
I know, ain't that terrible, man? I think it was Joe, Doug's assistant, and I'm like, "Hey, Joe, don't move." He looks up at me. I said, "There's a bear 10 feet behind you." He's like, "Yeah, black bear walked right into the yard there, and right behind Joe, and right over to the fire pit
to dig out plates.
To dig out plates that we who hadn't burnt yet."
No, opportunistic.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with.
Also caught him on the camera traps.
I kind of agree with you when it comes to your theory and what you think they are. And the only reason I agree with you is because of every Native American culture in the United States has said that they're a person. They're a people. They're not an animal.
Yeah, my grandmother was 100% Indian. Grandpa was half. So I've had a lot of weird and myth and folklore and just legend and just a lot of stuff that, ain't real comfortable talking on public about too often.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I could go into more detail what I think they are, but I'd rather not. So.
It's like Tim said, the Native American, they call them the Sasquatch people. It's always they don't call bears bear people. They don't call wolves wolf people, but they're Sasquatch people. So
the forest people,
the forest people, they always call them people.
Hairy man, not hairy beast.
I'm saying when she was a kid, she said they called them hairy men or hairy people of the woods. That was it. Yeah.
And they said some of the tribes that I had seen, I heard about, had said that they had traded with these Sasquatch people.
Yeah, my grandparents would tell me that.
When
they said,
"Oh yeah," and long before. I mean, she told me this in the 70s. She said, she goes, "We, according to my tribe lore, you seen your Westerns, you said Indians come up and say how." Said that didn't start out by being hi or hello. It was to show you that they was human because you had 5 fingers.
Count the fingers.
Whereas they said them hairy people had 6.
Yeah.
And the Bible speaks of Nephilim having 6 digits.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how that originated. It wasn't saying hi. It was just showing, hey, how you doing? I'm human just like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Every Native American tribe in the United States and Canada has a name for them, and it is. Some of them have said they've traded with them. They've learned from them. They've taught them. And when they seen the Europeans come over on their boats with their bang sticks and kill and slaughter everything in its path, Indians included, they receded into the trees and never came back out. That is in a lot of the Native American culture. So I would have to go with people that lived among them with what they believe, because they know more about them than we do.
Well, I mean, growing up as a kid around all them old people, you just took them to their word. They had no reason to lie. Like I said, my nearest neighbor was 2 miles down the road. So, you could just tell. If they told you something, you could count on it,
Yeah.
I can't prove it, but, I've just heard too many people that sound too sentimental that, hey, I don't care if you believe me or not, boy, just here's what happened.
Yeah.
Because Grandpa was a big coon hunter. He was into coon hunting. I think I upset him because I took up deer hunting and fox hunting instead of coon hunting. And, but he would never hunt his place. Even though there's coon like crazy back there, he'd never hunt his own place. So I never understood that. You know, him and Charlie would go 5, 10, 20 miles to a coon hunting place. You know, when you got 1,000 acres behind us, you know, with all the people we knew there, I was allowed to hunt all that. You know, just treat it with respect, they'd say. Don't leave no trash or whatever.
Right.
But he never did hunt back behind the house, ever. Coon hunting with the dogs.
That says something. Man, that says something.
It makes you wonder if maybe he had a bad experience or something.
Well, I mean, you put that story with the sacrificing the hog once or twice a year. Yeah. I mean, maybe you had to deal with them. Because I've heard of other stories. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I can't verify that, but that's just a story.
Yeah. I've heard a story of a lady getting mad because they were tearing up her garden, so she went a little farther out and made them a garden of their own. She just didn't weed it. She planted stuff, let it go wild, and weeded it, and had hers. And she said when she made one for them, they left hers alone, which
makes sense. Yeah.
Kind of a smart thing, you know. I would have been like, I'm not putting in the extra work. Just stay out of my stuff.
I don't remember who told that story, but I heard it too. I remember she went out there and said, "This one is mine. This one is yours."
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, why else would your grandpa turn a hog loose down there? I mean, that was good
I don't
money.
know.
You wouldn't just.
Well, I asked him, and he said, "Did I tell you, boy?"
Yeah.
Well, I guess. You know, I don't want to get a switching, so I'll just mind my business.
I've had a switching or two before. Yeah, those aren't. Yeah. Those smart.
I was never so glad to see them when bushes get cut down in my life.
Right, burn them. Yeah. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on and visit.
Thanks for having us, Jimmy. Hopefully we get to see you guys again here before.
Yeah, I hope so too. It has. I know that they're having this Ocala event again this year. At the same place. Oh God, is it July? June?
Is that big horse stable?
Yeah. It's at the World Equestrian Center.
Yeah.
You guys were there last year, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, we didn't make it this last time.
Last year they didn't.
You were there the time before.
You either just came back from Canada or just came back from Alabama. I can't remember.
Yeah.
If he stayed home once in a while. No.
Well, like I said, I mean, I've done without for a long time.
He usually don't go without me. There's a few trips.
You believe me?
Maybe it was the time before y'all were there.
Yeah, it was the time.
I know you came a few days earlier.
Yeah, well, I believe we talked in that hallway for an hour with Stevie B, I think.
Yeah.
I know that.
One first, the very first one in Lakeland, and we met.
I remember you from the Lakeland. I didn't make the first Ocala one, so I didn't see you guys at that one. But I see you guys at the Lakeland one.
At the Ocala one, and then we didn't make it back down this last time.
Yeah. I know that. So Kathy Westerman, she's got a group.
I'm a moderator in her group. Her and Tim T.
And they rent out campgrounds. The night of the final night of the.
She invited me to come down there this past year, and
I think we had just came back from.
I think we just came back from Flat Rocks, and the turnaround time it had been too much.
Make it,
yeah. So Bobby and I we went last year. Had some fun, just running around in the woods with a big group of people and whatnot.
Yeah, Kathy seemed like a nice lady, and Tim T and Wayne, they're great people. I mean, great. Awesome. I mean, they said, "Hey, just stay with us. Don't get a hotel. Stay with us a couple nights." I'm like, wow.
I don't know that there's anybody out in the woods more than Kathy Westerman. I really don't. Yeah. She lives in the Ocala National Forest.
Yeah.
She is out there. Retired. She is out there all the time, and she's got an interesting angle because if I believe right, I'm sure she'll let me know if I'm wrong, but I think she used to do like ghost hunting type stuff. So she has equipment that is kind of crossover, that they use. I think they record like EVPs and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've caught ghost stuff, and we just we send that to people. We need. I don't want to mess with. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'll go chase an 8-foot creature through the woods at night, but something says boo, I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm saying I'll fight a bear to the death, but I see a spider, forget about it. It's over. But hopefully
snakes, rats.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that. Spiders, I don't like the ticks. Ticks ruin my day. If a tick is on me, I'm done because now there's a million ticks on me, and then they're on me for the next 4 days. They're in my truck. Me and Bobby were covered from foot to hip after about 10 steps into it.
We walked through.
I drive 3.5 hours to get to this research area, and I'm there 10 minutes and leave. It's disgusting.
But no, we walked through this field, and by the time we got across that field, we both had like 50 or 100 ticks. You
Wow.
Oh my
see
goodness.
just crawling all over your pants. And it's like,
Now, Chris Connor told me to get some kind of spray. He said it repels them. And
Tim T told you about that.
Tim T and Chris Connor, yeah.
Okay.
There's some spray. I don't know. I can't remember what it is, but I didn't have a single tick with me in that week we was down in that
Yeah,
swamp.
you use that spray.
Yeah, I think that swamp too. I've never been to the Green Swamp, but it's a lot wet, more wet down there.
Well, it was supposed to have been, but man, it was so dry that week. I couldn't.
Was it?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, you didn't have any rain the whole week.
we didn't have any rain or nothing, and it was dry.
Which is unusual for Florida.
And like I told you earlier, our GPSs were showing we was 300 foot underground and then 80 foot above ground.
Yeah.
You know, in the air. It's just weird stuff. We got a video, but I'm waiting on Chris Connor and Chris Reinhardt to put out there. Like I said, we just do it for fun, so I don't want to impede on anybody's channel or nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting till they get their stuff out first.
We'll do the leftovers.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, we ain't in it. We're just in it just to have fun and see what we can find out.
Yeah. Down here, I'm in central South Florida, so it's pretty wet down here, and I have yet in any of these research areas down here to find a single tick, which makes me happy. It really makes me happy. I don't even look for them. It's just it's a wetter, marshier area, and they're in a more drier area. I always just assumed because it was the Green Swamp, it was more of a moister area, and you guys wouldn't get ticks out there.
That's what Tim T and Chris Connor were saying. They said it was usually a lot wetter, you know. But
yeah,
I mean, I can't believe how dry it was.
I've never been out there either researching, but I drive the highway that runs through the Green Swamp.
Where are you located at, Bobby?
I live just outside of Ocala, about 15
do you?
miles. Yeah, about 15 miles west of Ocala. So,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I drive for work. I drive through the Green Swamp
Oh, really?
at least once a week. But I've never been out there researching. When I'm going, I'm kind of busy. I'm on the clock, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, we should get out there sometime, Jim. It's kind of a good meeting place.
We'll get a hold of Tim T and Chris Connor, and Joey Bruce. They're still, you know, going places and all. But I know Chris. He's kind of secretive where he goes, and you know, he don't want you filming nothing where it gives away his spot.
Yeah,
real careful about that, and all, trying to respect their wishes and all.
Yeah.
Best I could.
No, that's the way most people are. You have your spots, and you don't.
Well,
really
that's our thing.
go.
I wish we had a regular spot, but
Well, we did in West Virginia.
we did in West
but
Virginia, and he
the
sold the
land.
property.
Yeah. Diane, she said swamp apes. In Florida, there's a, I say it all the time, but there's a government site in Florida. It's called it's for hunting. If you get on your phone right now and you type in Lower Suwannee hunting regulations,
Yeah.
and you pull it up, it's going to be a government site where it's got in specific hunt regulations hogs, no size or bag limit for hogs in this paragraph. For hogs. But at the very bottom of this paragraph, hidden in the hog section, that doesn't change because they're a nuisance animal. You can cure them all year round, day or night. At the very bottom of this paragraph, it says there is no taking of swamp or skunk apes. I will see if that is definitely not going to work out. That is horrible.
No, you can't see that.
Nothing. Ah, son of a mother. Yeah, but if you type in Lower Suwannee hunting regulations, SUW, and that's where everything goes south for me. For spelling, Lower Suwannee hunting regulations. There's a map with a big green square, and underneath that big green square where it says specific hunt regulations, at the bottom of the hog section, they threw it in on a government site for hunting. There's no taking of swamp or skunk apes.
Yeah, I believe you showed that to me when we were supposed to meet for the 168.
Yeah.
That last time. Yeah, I was like, wow, they come right out and say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's plain sight if you know where to look.
Yeah.
You know, so like the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, you know,
But they put it somewhere where people don't look because we all know that you can hunt hogs year round. So they put it where somebody don't look. But mess around and kill one of them, and they're going to be like, yeah, it's right here in plain writing. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
So
and you're going to jail unless you saw a bear, and they obviously are going to confiscate the body. I mean,
well, the way I look at it, I mean, that's the last resort. I mean, I hope not to have to shoot anything, that I ain't going to eat, but that's
that would taste gamey.
Absolute last resort.
Yeah, that would taste gamey.
If you shoot Jimmy in the leg, you still get away safe.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. I don't bring my gun for Bigfoot. I bring it to shoot Jimmy in the leg so I can get away.
There you go. You can go faster than the person you're with.
It's okay. Exactly. I'll sacrifice myself.
That's what worries me. I taught her how to shoot. So.
Until your knee gets fixed. I mean, I think I got you anyway.
Okay, you're good till my knee gets fixed.
Yeah, you'll see. Yeah.
Man,
that's good. She's witty. You got to get rid of that. Guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I hope you guys have a great new year. I hope we get to see you guys soon. If you ever make your way down this way, we'll definitely try to meet up and take
definitely.
You some. And then if you're up for it, take you to the beach.
There don't have to be a big thing going on. We can just all meet up somewhere and camp a couple of days and do some research. And, don't have to be anything going on. Just friends getting together and having a good time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Get the team together, find a place to camp, and the group campground. It holds 2 permits, and each permit allows 25 people per permit.
Yeah.
And when I normally get the group campground, we get both permits. We get both permits, so we have the entire place to ourselves.
Okay. Cool.
And it has 2 big porta potties. They're handicap porta potties. You can fit like 9 people standing up inside those things. So, I don't want to go anywhere that I'd rather not have to poop in the woods if I don't have to. That's just a me thing. But you also have access to the equestrian campground where they actually have showers and they have fire pits and all that stuff. Yeah. That's where the 168 was held originally. So when you have a permit out there, you got access to all 3 campgrounds.
Oh, nice.
But you only can camp at the one you have the permit for.
Okay.
But if you want to go take a shower before you go to bed, you can drive down to the equestrian and take a shower.
Half-hour drive there, half-hour drive back, but it's only 7 miles away.
It's worth it when you're doused in bug spray.
Yep.
No doubt.
Yeah. Go to bed filthy. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys plan to come and holler at us, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. We will. We'd love to have you and be a part of anything you guys are doing. You guys are great people. I just remember hanging out with you guys at the convention.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That first time in Lakeland, I don't think any of us ever actually went and listened to a speaker. We all just sat out there,
hung out
in the hallway.
Yeah. I don't even know who was there.
Conference.
I don't even know who was there.
I think we've heard about everybody, so we
go just to visit.
We go to meet
regular
Bigfoot hunters, regular people.
Yeah. I'd rather hear their stories any day.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. That day we talked out in the hallway the whole conference. And none of us ever saw a single speaker.
Yeah, I don't even know who was there. I think some of the small town monster crew was there, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that Alex guy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I remember. But guys, thanks for coming on. Appreciate having you. I'd love to reach out to you guys anytime, and vice versa. You can reach out to us anytime. If you want to share something, just hang out, talk, or whatever, chat. Just hit me up. No ticks. No ticks, but lots of mosquitoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can handle mosquitoes. I don't like them, but ticks I just don't do well with. We have a guest coming up, hopefully next Wednesday. Hopefully we can get Jason Dobbins and Dixie on. Dixie was a huge, and Jason were huge fans of Carrie Arnold, Bigfoot Odyssey. She was the one that Carrie always said, we have children watching the show, so please watch your language and whatnot. And she always referred to Carrie as Uncle Carrie. Dixie had a sighting. So we're going to try to get Jason and Dixie on. Dixie's 14 now. She's growing up. But that's what our plan is, and then we are going to try to have Daniel Benoit back on. And then there's 3 or 4 other people that I got in the lineup, and hopefully there's another person that's kind of more in the TV personality aspect of Bigfoot topic that I'm trying to work on getting on as well. We got a lot of good guests coming up, and for me, most importantly, good people. Good people. Just somebody I would hang out with, type of thing. And so far, everybody we've had on just seems like great people. You guys are great.
How's Jimmy, if you don't mind, how's Linda and Carrie's family? They doing okay now? I haven't heard nothing since.
Last I've seen some of Linda's posts, and she's, just like the slogan after Carrie passed, she's carrying on. It's I'm sure it still stings, my wife and I just 3 weeks ago were sitting in bed watching old Bigfoot Odyssey episodes and just hearing his voice. It was surreal. It didn't seem like he was gone. It's real. Carrie is I always say, and I probably sound like a broken record, Carrie is who Carrie is. When you see him on the podcast, that's who he is out in the research. That's who he is around the fire pit. That's who he is at the Denny's, at the table eating. He's the same person. He's not this persona that's put on. You get what you see, and he's so genuine and kind. And I haven't met too many people like that who will just give you something because he sees you need it. When it came to me putting out my children's book for my daughter Carly, the Princess Dragon, Carrie is like, dude, let me promote it. He's like, I've got a loyal following. And I'm like, it's not Bigfoot related. He's like, it doesn't matter, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's nice.
My followers love me and I love them. And we could probably make you a New York bestseller in a week. And I was like, I just don't feel right about that because it's not Bigfoot related. But he was genuine and generous enough that he'd help people. He would have done it. He would have done. He absolutely would have done it. And Bradley was just as generous too.
I haven't seen him once. He doing okay? I ain't seen him anywhere.
I think Brad's doing okay. Every now and then he messages us on some of my posts and puts a heart, because that's Bradley's way of, I see you. I'm kind of still hanging out, whatnot behind the scenes. I think Bradley's doing okay too. But yeah, I think Linda, she, I can't imagine going through what she went through. Not sure how I would hold up. But women are tough, man. Women are a different breed than men. When it comes to certain things, women are tough. And so, my wife would probably just carry on too. Honestly, I always joke with her. I'm like, at least let my body get cold before you move on, type of thing.
Does your wife beat you?
Oh, stop it. Here we go with his story.
I'll probably get beat now for bringing that up.
Yeah. I get nudged a lot. I get the nudge or the finger in the rib type of thing, and but every now and then I accidentally elbow her in the head when we're sleeping, accidentally. Yeah. But
you guys both making a rough night for yourself.
I'm just gonna sit here in a cave till she goes to bed. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Jimmy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody.
It's good seeing you guys.
Yeah, everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat, Miss Diane, and Miss Cashew, and everybody that showed up, Joe Parker, all you people that showed up, my cousins, the family's on here. My wife even stopped in to say hello. Guys, thanks for coming in. Blue Eyed Northern is here. Thank you for coming. We have some new people that I haven't seen. Welcome to our channel. Hopefully this becomes a safe place for you guys to come and hang out and just kind of have a friendship type of camaraderie and conversation and enjoy each other.
That's why we do this, meeting new people, great people.
Yeah, if anybody's watching, or anybody after the show that ends up watching, we've had decent amount of people watch the shows after the live. If anybody's had any encounters that want to come on and talk about it, send us an email. Our email is bfforestgiants@gmail.com. That's right, Bobby, is that right?
That is right.
Forest Giants.
BF Forest Giants.
BF Forest Giants at gmail.com. At gmail.com. So, hit us up or just stop in and say, hey, subscribe to our channel, share it if you want. If you don't want to, don't. It's free. You can subscribe it. It's free. So you don't have to worry about getting charged anything. But again, we're gonna get off here, guys. Everybody, thanks for coming. We will see you next week, I hope.
All right. Happy New Year, everyone.
See you guys. Thank you very much again.
See you guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.